RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
What's up, everybody? Where you been? I know I haven't done a show since last week. I wasn't feeling well, and I had a very tight schedule. And I'll explain more down the road because I've been a little under the weather, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, tonight we have an amazing show in store for the Tarabuster community. And hello, Winston, in the chat room, first in the chat at youtube.com/C4channel/Tarabuster. Come on over to YouTube, to that channel. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so when we go live, you'll be notified. And we stick together, we win, and that's how that's really what we need to, that's what we need. All right, tonight, I needed backup. I needed my dear friend Robyn Kincaid. Robyn's coming on the show, so let's just get her in here right now, and we can start our conversation. Okay? Well, you know what? I'm just thinking right now I should have probably called her before. Maybe I could have set that up better. But this is why I ask you to become patrons at patreon.com/TaraDevlin so we can keep the real liberal media going and growing. And maybe one day I'll have a producer or something. That might be nice. I'm getting tired. Okay. But before I keep going, before I get Robyn on the phone, I want to apologize to the patrons because I've been a little under the weather and all this stuff's been happening. Of course, the holidays suck too. Suck your time and energy. And I think I've been kind of depressed about the patron situation, so I haven't really been paying attention. But we did get a couple of patrons, so I wanted to apologize to the patrons because I didn't receive the notification or I missed it. And I just want to thank Michael for becoming a patron of Tarabuster. Because of you, Michael, we will be able to keep going and growing. That's all. What else can I say? Also, Deborah, I want to thank you. Thank you, Deborah, for taking that leap, becoming a patron. And the third patron in tonight's roundup, whatever you call it, Erwin, our good friend Erwin C. Guys, thank you so much for taking that leap to go to youtube.com/C4channel/Tarabuster to keep the liberal media going and growing. Okay, let's get Robyn in. Hold on. Breathe. I forget to breathe a lot, and it's a little annoying to me. You know, you need air. You need oxygen. Some say oxygen is overrated. They prefer hydrogen. They prefer nitrogen. All right, I'm just trying to get Robyn. Okay, guys, don't worry. What am I doing with my life? All right, I'm trying to get Robyn. What the fuck is wrong with me? Okay, that's what happened. All right, let me loop Robyn in. Now I have to add somebody. I know, you guys are like, why are you doing this to me? Why do you do this every goddamn week? Okay, add people. Boop, 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 boop. Bink. Coming out, so you better get this party started. Oh, hold on. We're there. Robyn, are you there? Everybody?
I am.
All right, cool. I don't see you though. Hold on.
I'll be getting there in a second.
Oh, okay. We did. I'm not being 100% truthful. We did a short rehearsal, not a rehearsal. Well, we checked to see if things were working. Exactly. Hold on, let me get you in here. There's Rob. You look amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
Hello. You do.
Thank you.
You look friggin' great. All right, I'm just trying to add Robyn. I want to go on the other side, though. Okay, this way. Robyn there, me here. All right, great. Robyn, welcome. Thank you so much for hanging out. And we're talking to Robyn Kincaid, an amazing human being, and also a host of her own radio show on Head On Radio with Robyn Kincaid. And I'm sure you guys know because we have a lot of the same listeners. So, yeah, I feel like this is a family. I really do. And it's us, it's me and you, Robyn, and Mike Malloy, and our community together. I really do consider us a community of friends. And this past week, it was hard for me to get to do the show. And believe me, I missed you guys. It's not good for me. I need to connect with
I was going to lose my mind for this. I think from like, November the 5th to November it was like 2 weeks. And I couldn't get on air. Oh, it was awful. I thought
yeah, right.
I was going to lose it.
Well, it's just I start thinking I start talking to myself in my own voice, and it seems reasonable, but then I'm sort of like talking myself into a depression in a way, because I'm very concerned about what's going on in this country. And right before we went on air, I went on Twitter to see, okay, what's going on? Did I miss anything? Anything new come in? And of course, Lauren Boebert, she's tweeting about, AOC says taxpayers should have to pay her student loan. This is, you see, that's a lie. That's a lie.
It's an effing lie.
Exactly. And
because she's an effing liar.
And this is just allowed, and people are going to vote for that woman, and they're going to vote for these Republicans. There are, I should have counted, but I just saw a list of all of the organizations that endorse Trump, and it's coming up. After the fascism and the coup and the lies and the.
There is some hope that with redistricting in Colorado, it may be harder for Clanny Oakley to get her to win re-election to a second term.
I hope so.
There's that. But the other little piece of information that's out there that I was just reading about. The New York Times had the story instead of the Guardian. 38 members, Tara, of the House and Senate, 2 days prior to the insurrection, were briefed on the 38-page PowerPoint on how to overturn constitutional governance in the United States. What? Now, neither the Times nor the Guardian gave up the names of the 38 Republicans, but I, by God, want to know, because I want to see that. I want to see those rotten little traitors prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Exactly. What is happening here? Now, Joe Biden the other day, he convened this democracy summit, and that to me it gave me somewhat hope, because I guess they're paying attention to a degree, but I don't know. I don't quite know if it's strong enough, and frankly, I don't think it is. And even today, Biden, now what happened with the tornado is just this, it's horrific. But Biden came out to reassure the people of Tennessee and Alabama and all the states that hate him that, we're in this together. We got you. We got your back. And
we don't hang other Americans out to dry.
Right. Exactly.
The supreme irony of that, though, is that Rand Paul, libertarian ophthalmologist, authored a letter, Dear President Biden, I sure do need you to send some big bucketfuls of money down here to Kentucky, because we really hurting.
Right. Right.
Now,
call him Brandon. Brandon. What? Hey, Brandon. Right?
Yeah. But bear in mind, this little pissant has been opposing help for other suffering states since 2011.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what they do. Mm-hmm.
He opposed aid for Hurricane Sandy.
Yep, I remember. Yep.
If but now he's got his hat in his hand and he's holding it out to have it filled with money. And I don't want anybody to misunderstand and think that I'm somehow being hard-hearted about the suffering people in Kentucky and Tennessee. No, hell no.
Right.
I actually believe in this country.
Yeah.
I believe that this is why we have a country in the first place.
That's it.
But it's really, really hard to make this jibe with southern states that feel like they have a right to pass laws in their stupid little Republican legislatures saying that they have the right to nullify the actual holdings of the Constitution of the United States.
That's what we just witnessed with what the Supreme Court did. That's what they did. Hold on a second, Robyn. This is Tara Devlin. We're talking with Robyn Kincaid, unapologetic liberal talk. We'll be right back. All right, everybody. I'm here with Robyn Kincaid. We're discussing the last days of the American Republic. And, I called the show tonight The Trouble with Traitors, because we're on the Trouble with Tribbles, But that's what we're up against, the trouble with traitors. These are traitors who
I don't have any problem calling them traitors.
Yeah, no, they're traitors, and they need to be named and shamed as such.
If you had knowledge of a coming insurrection against constitutional governance in the United States of America and an attack, a pending attack on the seat of constitutional governance, and you said nothing.
Right. And you participated.
We're supposed to call you.
Right. You made memos. You sent emails. You made these pitches. This is how we're going to overthrow democracy. Guys, I'm with you. Let's do this thing. Yeah, all right, everybody. I mean, what? And tonight, Joe Biden doing the presidential thing, which is quite a relief, because I didn't want to see Trump go to Tennessee. And even though I can't stand these idiots, they're probably wearing their MAGA hats, but I didn't think that they deserved to have paper towels thrown at their faces. But it just drives me insane.
Yeah.
You never see, you don't hear the people in blue states saying, F you, Tennessee, but we hear it conversely. I live in New York, you know that, and I remember Ted Cruz blocking Hurricane Sandy money, relief money. And this is not the first time. They do it all the time, and they never miss the opportunity to whine and cry and divide and conquer this country. And that's what it's about. They are dividing and conquering the country. Every time Joe Biden says, we're not Democrats and Republicans, we're Americans, how many effing times do you have to remind them? Enough. They're not buying it. They don't want to play in our reindeer games. They're not small d Democrats. They hate democracy. They're confused by democracy.
They're authoritarians. They're pro-oligarch. They prefer autocracy.
Yes.
Because it's so much easier for them.
Yes.
If they get to just tell everybody what to do and they get to enact their weird little twisted fetishistic agenda, then the rest of us just have to live with it, and they let the money roll in.
It doesn't matter if we fight, bleed, and die for democracy and for a more perfect union. These assholes are going to come in by hook and by crook and undo everything we've done. And they are undoing democracy. It's not a drill. And Joe Biden's like, we're not Democrats and Republicans, we're Americans. And okay, great. But this is another mixed message, okay? And a missed opportunity to remind everybody what the fuck the federal government's for, and what this thing is. What is this that we're doing? What is this democracy thing? I saw something on Lauren Boebert's Twitter feed. I was trying to find it because it really pissed me off, but I can't find it. But she wrote on her Twitter feed that the United States is she's talking about, she thinks she's giving us a history lesson. She said something about the right-wing patriots who founded this country. That's what she said. The right-wing patriots who founded this country. The right wing? No, honey. Those were the loyalists. Those were the armed militia loyalist mobs running around killing the patriots. But sorry. I'm so pissed off tonight. It's not. Maybe it's because I didn't do a show during the week. It's all pent
Don't
up.
hold back. Don't hold back.
I know.
Tell us how you feel.
It's unreal.
But there's another aspect to these tornadoes. I mean, it blew my mind when I first, and it got a little blowy down here where I am, but nothing of any significance, just breezy, 15, 20 mile an hour winds, that kind of thing. But further north, hell opened up, and I started seeing mentions of it early yesterday evening. My pal Haley in Arkansas said that there was a tornado warning out in northeast Arkansas, and that was the same storm system. And then a tornado spawned, and it has climatologists and meteorologists just sitting around with their mouths hanging open, catching flies.
Yeah.
Because this thing touched down and stayed on the ground for 200 miles.
Right. I mean,
just a rolling God only knows how many hundreds of miles an hour chainsaw.
Right.
That ran for 200 miles and just chewed up everything in its path. And nothing even remotely similar to that has happened since 1925.
Right.
Since we started keeping records.
It's unfathomable, really. Yeah.
And climate change.
Yeah.
And there are still suits pending against the major hydrocarbon producers, the oil companies and whatnot, noting that they have known about all of this, just the same way that the tobacco industry knew about the dangers of smoking. They knew about all of this from jump.
Right. Yeah.
And they hid it, and they covered it up, and they did nothing.
Right. And it's because it's greed.
It's bottom line, or their precious shareholders' quarterly share price.
Yep. Greed is the only American value, and I'm pretty much tired of it. What else? I'm just tired of. One of my whipping posts is, and yours as well, is the media, the mainstream media. This is the problem, because that's why we're in this boat. The mainstream media, rowing along. Everything's fine. They want their payday. They don't like the chaos. They just didn't like the overt racism. They don't mind a little racism. Keep the
don't
dupes.
say stuff out loud.
Yeah,
whisper quietly.
Right. Keep
Nobody's
the
listening.
dumbasses. Yeah, they love. They use racism because the whole race is a construct anyway. The whole notion of race was created to divide people.
Works. They use whatever works.
Yep.
Whatever will get their mouth breathing, knuckle walking, little troglodyte followers out from behind the baseboards to run to the voting booth. For some, it's the fetus fetish.
Right.
For others, it's climate denial.
And the whole of the corporate media plays by the Republican rules. This is another thing that annoys me. Well, it's not just about annoying though. If it was only annoying, it would be an improvement. It's an existential threat against the democracy, And wait, here I just found Lauren's tweet. This is what she said. By the standard of today's left, the founding fathers would have been considered right-wing extremists. Really? No, bitch. You're a dumb bitch. Okay? I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't say that word, but I don't care.
That's almost a Dr. Seuss song. One bitch, two bitch, dumb bitch, you bitch.
Right. Really? Our founding fathers would be considered right-wing extremists? No, those would have been the loyalists. Those were the right-wingers who wanted the concentrated wealth and the intergenerational aristocracy and none of this government of, by, and for the people. That's a very progressive thing to overthrow an aristocracy, right? I mean, nothing conservative about that. Right-wing extremists. So it's another example of Republicans. They really hate this country, okay? They hate America because they just hate everything about America.
They hate an America that is inclusive.
Right. Wait, hold on a second, Robyn. The music. Sorry, we have Progressive Voices bills to pay, I guess. Be right back. All right, we're back. Yeah, we're talking to Robyn Kincaid, and we're discussing the decline and fall of the American Republic, really. Yes, they hate America. Okay.
Savable. I'd like to say savable, but it's.
You think it is? Do you think it is? I wonder. I'm not kidding. I am.
I think all democracy. I think all the evidence so far from about 400 BCE to the present is that democracies always fail.
Yes,
because sooner or later people get tired of defending them, and they get lazy.
Yep.
And the next thing you know, in the case of Athens, the next thing you know, it's the Spartans are at your gates, and after that you get Alexander, and then the Romans run over you, and and the same can be said of a lot of other democratic experiments, because it goes back to that perhaps apocryphal story about the lady stopping Ben Franklin outside the Constitutional Convention and saying, "Dr. Franklin, what kind of government do we have?" And Franklin answers, "A republic, if you can keep it." And there are limitations. Democracy in this country has always been far more aspirational than operational.
Yes, that's right.
Idiot originalists like Justice Handmaid, Amy Covid Barrett, who blathers on about originalism. Girlfriend, if you believe in originalism, you need to get off that bench.
Right.
And don't ever vote again. Don't have a job.
Like, shut your handmade mouth.
Your shoes off, and stay pregnant until you can't get pregnant anymore.
That's it.
Because that was a woman's place.
Yep.
At the time of the original intent of the framers of the Constitution.
I know. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Crazy.
Right. I mean, the whole original. It's another example of how Republicans they use these terms to give their bullshit legitimacy. So
and it's nothing but a fraud. It
is a fraud. It's a scam.
Carnival con. It's constitutional originalism is three-card Monty outside a subway station in New York. Okay, I mean, the Queen, find the Queen, find the. Oh, sorry, lose again.
Right.
Or nothing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is why I think we're doomed, because everywhere we look, there's a problem. There's lies coming at us that we have to counter. There's the ignorance. Just that stupid tweet that the founders would have been considered right-wing extremists. That is so stupid to be. There are dumbasses that believe it.
And they'll lap it up because they've never had anything.
Yeah.
And it's been this way since Rush Limbaugh first.
Yep. That's it.
Ate a handful of OxyContin and got behind the mic. As long as there's no one there to counter the misinformation, the misinformation becomes the truth.
Right. And that's it. So idiots are going to read that. Oh, the founders were right-wingers. Yes, they're patriots. These are people that wanted to what?
Yeah, just last week we passed the 80th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. When the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor.
Right. Did somebody say that? Did they say that?
No, I mean.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't be surprised, though. Because you know how stupid they are. They don't have a grasp on history, much less reality.
History out of whole cloth because they need to feel good about America's history, when in fact there's a whole lot of America's history that is not something you want to feel good about.
Yeah.
And if you need to feel good about history, you're not interested in history.
Right.
You're interested in mythology.
Right. You're a little baby snowflake who this is how you fix what's broken. You take an inventory. What's missing, what's working, what's not working. That's how you survive as a functioning adult, but also as a democracy. You have to, it's not an accident. That's the thing. You have to cultivate it deliberately, purposefully, and you have to smash and crush those freaking lies and the fascist bud, nip those clip those buds before they bloom. So that's it. And meanwhile, the Democrats, are too busy trying to be nice, playing nice, saying, "Oh, please, look, we're Americans here, everybody, aren't we? Can't we all just get along?" Right?
I know. It's so frustrating.
For real.
I want I want to cut them off at the knees and then kick their ass for being short.
Right. Well, that's what they do. It seems like they do to us.
I mean, it's how they play with us. And,
yeah. And it's time.
And this is a country worth saving. This is we have values that are worth preserving.
That's
and by
true.
the way, if I'm a little fidgety, I apologize. It's just I have to move around a little bit because sitting is one of the greatest challenges of my life these days.
Right. And yeah, Robyn just had surgery, so she's in recovery. So just for those who don't know.
It was a month ago. It was 4 weeks ago last Tuesday.
Wow. Look at you. Here you are on radio, podcast.
Yeah. It's getting better all the time.
That's great.
But there are still a lot of challenges and some considerable pain. And the pain that remains is the stuff that I'm not kidding. Ibuprofen won't touch it. Aspirin won't touch it. Tylenol won't touch it. OxyContin will not touch it. So you just kind of have to, and live with it.
Yeah. But is it getting better at all?
Oh yeah, no, it's getting better. I'm healing up. It's just going to take a little while, and every now and then I feel like some little satanic gnome is running a needle through me down there.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's a party. Not trying to ruin anybody's dinner, lunch, anything else. But that's why I keep doing this stuff.
Right. That's okay. Thank you for sharing and letting us know. And also, before we keep going, I want to say thank you, Jim, for your super chat. And thank you, JD, for your super chat in pounds. Hi, Tara and Tara fans. Well, hello there, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Jim is great, and he tweets and super chats, not tweets, whatever. He super chats in pounds, so I'm very envious of him. And he always tells me not to talk about my grandmother, because I'm always pining wait till I get a hold of my grandmother. If there is an afterlife, I'm going to discuss with her why the F you brought us here to this effing shithole country where we can go bankrupt when we get sick and maybe have to endure fascism.
Brought y'all over from the old sod.
Right? But then I think, Grandma, why the hell did you come here? And then I'm like, well, when she came here, FDR was, they had FDR, so I guess it was things were looking up, maybe.
Well, think about, and I'm sorry, this is a horrible comparison, and I mean no disrespect. Okay. Think about why Mary, whatever her last name was. Mary McLeod.
Oh, okay.
Came from that tiny little godforsaken Scottish island where the gene pool was about the size of a muddy hoof print, and came over on a holiday visa, and then became an illegal immigrant and worked. No, that's the woman who went on to marry Fred Trump.
Oh no! Get the hell out
Nero's
of here.
mother. Yeah, Nitwit Nero's mother was an illegal immigrant.
That's right, yeah. Well, my father was an anchor baby, so that's how my grandmother brought herself here with...
Mary McLeod sort of swanned around New York and took jobs as a housekeeper and such until she met Fred Trump, and Fred Trump decided to shtup the hell.
Oh. So she was a maid or a housekeeper?
Yeah, she came from Scotland on a tourist visa, and then promptly went to work.
Oh, God help us.
Taking American jobs.
Right. Did you ever see that show Succession?
I've seen some of it. It was just a little too close to the bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. It's really good, but it's about billionaires basically running everything, and it's really, it's terrifying, and also. I
thought it reminded me of the Murdochs.
Yes, that's what I think they're supposed to be, because they run a right-wing news outlet, and the father is, a big asshole, and they're whatever. I mean, it's a very good show. I just started watching it not too long ago. So when I was not feeling well this past week, I was watching that. But
while we're being nerds, TV nerds, Annette and I have been watching on Hulu, The Great.
What's that? Is that Catherine the Great?
Yes.
Is it? Go ahead. Sorry.
They describe it as occasional occasionally factual.
Oh, yeah. I like them when they're factual, but yeah.
No. This is just hilarious.
You're right.
And bloody and awful and hilarious.
Oh, really? Is it a comedy?
Yes.
Oh,
Very much.
okay. I've seen it. I just never.
A very violent, bloody comedy.
Yeah. I like history movies that are accurate. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. We're not really. Yeah.
The costuming's magnificent. The dresses. Oh my God, the dresses.
Yes.
And the characters are some of them are so absolutely utterly loathsome. You really don't mind when somebody walks up behind them with a flintlock pistol and blows the back of their head through the front.
Oh, well, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, isn't it, Josh?
Well, before I keep going, I want to say thank you, Richard W., for your super chat, and thank you, Linda, for your super chat. Linda says, "Hi, Robyn and Tara. This is Ralphs." And thank you. Another great show, Tara. Thank you, Richard. All right, we're back. So last week, Poppy was on the show. Poppy Champlin, good friend, amazing comedian, great human being. And we started talking about trans athletes. It came up because I don't know, we were talking about some women's music festival. I want to read something that I received, a comment on the YouTube channel. And hold on a second, and I want to read it because it kind of explains the, this where. Okay, here it is. I have it open. Okay, it's from Lana Muckraker. Tara, this is in regard to Michigan Women's Festival, the MWF. This is long, but I promise it'll be worth it. My true story of the protest movement around MWF. So the festival was started by radical feminists in the 70s, probably with good intentions. As the 90s progressed and more people demanded that trans women be allowed to attend, and as well as intersex people, it became a huge cultural debate. The founders doubled down on the women who are born women bullshit and who would only be allowed. I mean, that's just so fucking horrible and mean. I hate that. That to me, it just, God damn it, what a swing and a miss there. It's so horrible. God. They are okay. So where am I? The founders doubled down on the women born women. Blah blah blah. I'm just gonna go through. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I'll paraphrase. La Tigra, the Bikini Kill, and the Butches attended and then were faced with a boycott and backlash. They regretted it. Okay, maybe I was going off the rails. I was so inspired by the lesbian bike gang came to visit the trans camp and rode their bikes up and down the dusty roads in solidarity. This was the 90s, almost 20 years before HRC and GLAAD and others came around to the cause. I was very poor, broke, no vehicle, and yet there were so many women who didn't believe in the exclusion that I had no problem hitching a ride all the way to Providence with them. I had a very large dog, and they even put up money for a dog-friendly hotel, so I could get home where I lived back then. Okay, so this solidarity was inspiring. So she's talking about she, as a trans woman, went to this women's festival. They were excluded, but there were people who were supportive, and like the Dykes on Bikes and things who and that's the thing, like to exclude people in a club of people who are excluded, it drives me up a fucking wall. What do you think?
Well,
fuck.
Obviously I'm biased, and
right.
I'm solidly of the opinion that trans women are women.
Yes.
Women are women. Trans women are women. Therefore, and all of the bullshit arguments that the TERFs, the trans exclusionary radical feminists make, are exactly that. They're bullshit.
Yep.
And they say that they need women-only spaces.
The fuck is that?
And apparently that primarily means restrooms.
God.
But I mean, we're doing video this evening.
Mm-hmm.
For people watching right now, see me. Do you really want me to go to the men's room?
That's
Because
true.
I'm going to get my little girly ass beat and maybe
That's right.
killed.
That's right. That's right. And it doesn't. I mean, what the fuck? Who
My
cares?
driver's license says female. My anatomy says female.
Exactly.
But somehow or another, I'm not woman enough.
I know.
Some of these assholes, and frankly, I don't know of any other words besides that.
Right.
Are they misguided? No, they're hateful.
It's hate.
And
It's
they're hypocrites too, because we need women-only spaces. Okay, I agree.
right. We're women, so okay, great, wonderful.
But when you start talking about women-only spaces, I'm old enough to remember when the feminist movement was deeply, deeply insulted, and rightfully so, over the fact that there were places in country clubs where women were not allowed.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the men, they were literally called the men's grill.
Right.
And women couldn't go in there. And the thing is, in the men's grill is where all the business was being done.
Right. Yep. Yep.
Okay, that's where the deals were being made.
Yep.
And to exclude women from those spaces was patently sexist, patently misogynist, and patently wrong.
Yeah.
But if they're gonna, if the TERFs are gonna run around and their nasty little allies, saying that I, who just risked life and limb to make my body match my mind,
Exactly.
it don't belong in those spaces.
Oof.
I mean, I'm not trying to bully my way into anywhere, but
You belong. There's no bullying. This is your space.
I mean, how do they respond when how do they respond when the good old boys say, "Yeah, little lady, and you don't need to be in the men's grill in the country club.
Right.
You don't need to be in the country club at all, really."
Right. Well, it reminded me of, I remember years ago, there was a Holocaust exhibit, and it was touring, and it came to New York, and some of the extremely Orthodox Jewish community boycotted it because it included gay victims of the Holocaust.
Right.
Like, it gave that history, and they wanted that removed. That, at
Erasure.
the time, made
Just
me
like
want to
do them,
go Incredible Hulk. What?
just like what Hitler wanted to do to them.
Yeah.
They wanted to do to gay people.
Exactly. I couldn't believe it at the time. I remember saying, like, "Excuse me? These are we all burned in the same ovens, I guess. So what the hell? Everybody, this is the human thing. This is, it's my camp, my team, my people, me. And everybody else can go pound sand until, they need some. Like, for example, in Tennessee now, right? So.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite movies is a movie called Matewan, Matewan. It's about one of the labor struggle in West Virginia in the early 20th century. And there's one point in time where the narrator of the film says, "All we got in common is our misery. And the least we can do is share it."
Mm-hmm.
And that's what oppressed and marginalized people have to internalize all the way down to our toenails.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to make a subset of exclusivity out of oppression, honey, you're getting it wrong.
Right.
You're kind of a mess.
It's just so mean. That's the other thing. And so unnecessary to add this meanness and this separation to the world. It makes absolutely no sense. And it's just painful, too, to do that. It's just something like that makes me have a little bit of doubt as to whether we're going to be able to make it.
So much of this is being fueled by horrible people.
Yes.
Dave Chappelle is way up on my horrible people list.
Yeah, definitely.
And it astonishes me how people. He's a genius.
Right.
Well, he might be a comic genius. He's done some brilliant comedy. But he's not a genius social critic, and he's certainly not a human anatomy genius. He's not a psychology genius. He's not a sociology genius. He's certainly not a gender studies genius.
He's just a dick.
And you know, he's completely happy with all the free publicity he's getting, and here we are giving him more. Fuck you, Dave.
Right.
But you know, in that special that got him so much attention, he said, every person in this room had to pass through the legs of a woman to be born.
Oh wow, genius!
You moron! You're a genius, and you don't know about cesarean section.
That's true.
I mean,
That's
cesarean section is named the cesarean section because it is said that was how that Caesar was born, and you know that was over 2,000 years
it was
ago.
a long time ago.
And there's been a whole bunch of them since then. How about Macbeth? No man born of woman could slay Macbeth, according to the prophecy. And so there's Macduff banging away with the swords, and he says, well, you can't kill me. No man born of woman. And he said, and Macduff says, I was ripped untimely from my mother's womb. And with the sword, and that's the end of Macbeth.
Yep.
But the genius doesn't know that.
Right. Well, that's it. They don't know. I mean, hello. It's the ignorance flooding the public airwaves, or just flooding the discourse in this country, is one of the things that keeps me up at night. Because the stupidity, it's so embarrassing to me to be an American at this point. And oh, why don't you leave? I will. You want to do a GoFundMe? Good, let's go. I don't care. But anyway, the fact is, I was born here. You know, I wore a uniform. I took the oath to protect and defend the Constitution. And you know what? I don't know. Kind of got used to the place. So we had one promise. We're trying to fulfill it. Democracy. Hold on. We'll be right back with Robyn Kincaid. All right, we're back. And we're talking to Robyn Kincaid about everything that's going on, the last days of the American Republic. And we were discussing because last week it just came up, the trans athletes. And it was because Poppy was on the show and she was discussing this women's music festival where the trans women weren't allowed. And then there was a protest. It's just so ridiculous to do that. We should embrace each other. I don't understand. There's so many missed opportunities to have a better life together as human beings, and we never seem to take that opportunity. What was who was the English philosopher that described life as nasty, brutish, and short? Right.
It's nasty enough, it's brutish enough, and it's short enough. It would seem that the far better way to go would be to work toward making it less nasty, less brutal, and perhaps longer.
Right. For everybody. But that's the thing. This is why what we're doing here is so important, because this is how we will win. We get the word out. They're not hearing this on Fox News, clearly, or on OAN or anywhere.
It's not that Tara. Hold on. It's not that they're not hearing it. It is that it is not beneficial to their business model.
No. You're right. Mm-hmm.
Yeshua, the brown-skinned Palestinian day laborer and semi-literate itinerant rabbi who wore a dress every day of their life, walked around Palestine saying, "Hey,
right.
Let's be nicer to each other. Let's not crap all over each other."
Yeah.
And they said, "Screw you," and murdered him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the conservatives murdered him. That's the other thing.
Right.
I mean, they're always on the wrong side of history, even when when in regard to the savior, quote unquote, they pretend to worship. I really wish they did worship him, because we wouldn't be in this boat. So.
Yeah, poor old Gandhi. The deeply flawed individual that he was, just like everybody else is, was like, no, we have to be nonviolent. We have to take the road of peace. We have to love one another. And the guy walks up to him and says, "No, we don't," and blows his brains out. Right.
Well, that's you see. This is what happens to left wingers, though. The left wingers are always. Well,
Abraham Lincoln is saying, "With malice toward none, with charity toward all." And again, another conservative walks up and says, "No, I'm going to blow the back of your head into the front of your head."
That's right. Well, I'm sure you've heard about the Kellogg strike. right? So
Yes,
Kellogg's
yes.
is now going to fire all those who went on strike. And why isn't that the top news story? I wonder.
Because labor, the media monoliths hate labor
Yeah.
news unless it can be something bad about people who work.
right.
That's why we've been
That's
inundated.
right.
We've been inundated since the beginning of the Trump pandemic with story. Those lazy people won't come back to work for shit wages and risk their lives.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah,
back-
That's right.
What's wrong with them?
Right. Well, the essential. Oh, thank you, essentials. We're so grateful.
You want more money? No.
Right.
screw-
Exactly. Every
screw
7 o'clock. Thank you, essentials. We're so appreciative. While why don't you put it in a friggin' envelope? Nobody gave a crap if billionaires showed up to work, but everybody was crying
Wait.
about not being able to get whatever the fuck's ugly, stupid, crap food they want to shove in their gullets. So, I mean, hello,
Yeah.
those are the essential workers. But yeah,
Well, you said billionaires show up at work, and I was like, wait, what did I miss?
right. Well, then nobody cares. Like,
Work?
right, exactly, and that's well with the show Succession. It drives me. It's insane because it makes
They
me
spend all their
wanna-
time screwing with each other, right? I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
no, screw you,
And
no,
it's,
screw you.
I mean, the underlying theme, I guess, of the show is, of course, even though they're the wealthiest people, they're also horrible and unhappy, and because they're terrible human beings, and yeah, and it just keeps getting worse. And they're more miserable, and I mean, just sad. It shows you that what we're saying. Money is not the end all and be all of everything. And they've done studies about the amount of money. Once you have a level of financial security, according to these studies, it doesn't make you happier. You don't. The more money you get, that doesn't make you happy.
How many years did Rush Limbaugh bring in more than $50 million a year?
Right.
How many years
What a
did he do that?
scum. Right. Ugh.
And what did it get him?
Right.
Really
Death.
fancy casket.
That's right. Well, he got a medal of scum.
Because even though he had talent on loan from God and half his brain tied behind his back, he told us every day, he never figured out that they don't put U-Hauls behind hearses.
Right. That's true, and you can't take it with you. So, they keep saying how religious they are, yet, and talking about all Jesus and trust in God. We trust in God, not government. Fuck you.
Yeah,
I hate you.
That reminds me of the little children's hymn, because I saw the Josh Duggar story
Oh
the
yes,
other day.
we want to talk about that.
And it reminds me of the little children's hymn. Maybe you heard it somewhere when you were a kid. Jesus loves the little children. You're not Jesus. Get your hands off my kid.
Right. Well, let's talk about Josh Duggar since we brought it up. You brought it up, and I want to talk about it anyway because there you go. That's another example of the fact that normal people, okay, people have to give some kind of credence or equal weight to somebody's fantastical fantasies. Well, same thing, right?
Sure.
Their flights of imagination about a giant cloud being who's making a list of who's naughty and nice, and it really gives a shit about whether you masturbate or not. And that's supposed to be equal weight with actual science, therapy, adulting.
Or
I don't know.
Even of equal weight with the things that their avatar said was the most important.
That's right.
Feeding the hungry.
Yep.
Housing the homeless. Clothing the naked.
Yep.
And visiting those who are sick and in prison.
Yep.
That masturbation isn't anywhere on that list.
I know, right? But it just makes you wonder. I think about here's a omnipotent being who, for whatever reason, has a penis. I have no idea why.
I'm not convinced.
I know, right? But this is what they're telling us. God is a man. I remember when I was young and Cardinal Cook was here in New York City. Excuse me. And I was making, I was young. I was making my confirmation at the time. And there was a headline. Cardinal Cook, he gave a sermon. And he came out and he said, God is a man. And he made a declaration, and it was on the news, and it was on the fucking front page of the New York Post. And
considering the Catholic clergy, yeah, God's a man, and he's a really, really hot.
Right. He's a man, and I said, well, I suppose he's white too, right? What does it matter if he's a man? Who cares?
Man.
It's so ridiculous. Yes, a man is the creator of the universe. All right. Nice one. But it's just, please, I wish that they were Christian, because they're just full of shit. Their version of Christianity is the only holy obligation is gay bashing, right? And we're talking about the Duggars now. And we were talking earlier on the phone.
The quiverful folks.
Right. These fucking quiverfills, right? A friend of mine, my friend Chris and I, we used to watch the show. We would hate watch the Duggars, and then we would discuss it, you know?
Hate watch. I love that.
Yeah, it was good. Well, because the show is so stupid, and it's a formula, of course. Obviously, it's not on anymore, but
I'm culturally clueless, and I admit it.
Oh my God, it was fascinating as an anthropological study.
Yeah, sociological kind of study, sure.
To see, wow, and then they go to the Noah's Ark Museum. Like, that's a museum, right? That's why we're stupid.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing.
That's the museum with the mural of Adam and Eve having a picnic, with a vegetarian T-Rex in the background or some such. Isn't that it? Is the other one?
Yes, exactly. And they also they went to this museum on the Duggar show, and they were all discussing. It's just so stupid. And so how can we have a country that's functioning when we have idiots thinking that Noah's Ark is real? You know, I used to think that when I was a child. I did, because there was a show. It was called In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy. You probably heard of it. Oh yeah.
Yes.
And I used to watch that show all the time. I loved it.
And the frozen mountaintop in Turkey with the boat-shaped object.
Yep. And hold on a second. Here comes the music. We'll be right back with Robyn Kincaid. All right, listen up. Guys, we're back with Robyn Kincaid. We're talking about the last days of the American Republic, and right now we're talking about the Duggars, really. Because Josh Duggar, the oldest Duggar, he was convicted of being a sexual deviant child molesting predator. Well, that's what he is. So
he was convicted of one count of receiving child pornography and one count of possessing child pornography. And everybody knew about it because part of the testimony was that, I think back in 2003, a witness testified, they caught him watching videos of toddlers.
Right. I know. Isn't he a piece of...
I can hardly say it. Of toddlers being sexually abused.
Oh, my God.
And that got him off.
I know.
And everybody in that church knew, don't let Josh around the babies, okay? And, of course, he is alleged to have gone on to sexually abuse his little sisters.
Right.
And, of course, his lawyer said, well, we're going to appeal.
Oh, please. He's done. He's toast. That's the thing.
He's facing $500,000 in fines and up to 20 years in the penitentiary. I hope he gets every day of it.
Yeah. It's the arrogance too, because he didn't learn. That's the thing. He went to trial because he thought he could talk his way out of it, I guess, or maybe pray his way out of it, or
thought that the judge was going to be in his corner because he was afraid. Right. I don't know why.
Because he loves Jesus or something. So, this is because that's what they did before. And he admitted apparently that he was sexually molesting children. And everybody at that church apparently knew it, that they should not put their kids with him because he was gonna abuse them. And instead of getting him help, they took him to somebody who also, he was a law enforcement officer, a cop or something, to discuss, to say, hey, you're going down the wrong path and your future is not gonna look good if you continue. And that guy's in jail now for child sexual assault material. And there you go. So they sent him to a religious rehab and but for his sexual abuse, for being a sexual predator, and of course it didn't work.
Right, and they prayed the perv away. No, they didn't.
Exactly. So, and he is watching him. He's a sociopath, in my mind, in my view. Clearly, there's something incredibly sick about him. Clearly.
Well, generally speaking, sexual predators, child sexual predators like Josh Duggar, don't get well.
Yeah.
There is no cure.
No, he's done. He's done.
But the thing that does occur to me, because in so many instances, people who sexually abuse children or kiddie porn, whatever.
That's right.
But particularly those who sexually abused other children, generally, very often they have had it done to him.
Yes. So
he was the eldest child of the Duggar family, and I can't help wondering, and maybe this is why he had to go to trial. I can't help wondering, potentially who did him. Now this is in no wise excusing his conduct. It is inexcusable.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't help wondering who did it to him.
Right. No, it's true. Because where do you learn this? You don't.
Right. And did he learn it from Daddy Duggar?
Right. And because the thing about them,
Duggar.
Yeah, because they I don't think there's a family in America that talks about sex more than the Duggars. Do you know what I mean? They're so repressed. Nobody who is, I guess, grown up and matured sexually and is into adulthood.
It's like the evangelical right.
What's that?
The evangelical church. Those people spend more time thinking about how gay people have sex than gay people.
Exactly.
Gay people have sex.
Exactly. It's amazing to me. It's fascinating.
There's so much latency.
Yes.
Because just every so often, one of them gets caught.
Yes. Well, he is very sick. Well, you know that he was sued by that the adult actress or whatever. She sued him because he I guess he had sex with her. He paid her to have sex or something, and then he beat the shit out of her. That's what he did. And she took him to I mean, imagine you're an adult actress, film actress, and somebody is so degraded you that you're going to take him to court about it. You're going to, you know what I mean? And that's what she did. Good for her. But what does that say? Somebody like him, got alone with him, with this woman, and he beat the shit out of her. That's what he likes. He likes beating women because he's fucked up. He's fucked up, guys. In the medical parlance, he's fucking damaged. And instead of getting the help he needs and that we need as a community, we need him to get help. He doesn't do it. They send him to this bullshit, bogus asshole place where the children of our community are still in danger.
And consider the other parallel because you're bogus bullshit programs like that. Well, these are the same people who think that you can pray the gay away.
That's right. Yeah.
Trans away.
Yep.
Can torture children until they will.
This is what they do.
so thoroughly repress their sexuality or their gender. gender, that they won't be visible anymore.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
that's a horrible form of torture.
Yep.
I mean, the Canadian government, and it was amazing, the conservative, right wing, left wing, what have you, every single member of the Canadian Parliament voted in favor of criminalizing conversion therapy in Canada.
Wow.
And then it passed in the upper chamber of the Senate.
See, not even a peep of controversy.
Yeah, it can be done.
Right.
But down here, where the First Amendment has become nothing more than a life support system for the religion industry, we can't do that.
Right.
We can't do that.
Right. Because we have the Lauren Boeberts and the Marjorie Taylor Greens, and it's
You're trampling my
terrifying.
religious freedom.
Right. Freedom.
Yeah.
So that's...
I got religious freedom. I got religious
Yes.
freedom to hate trans people.
That's my religious right. Right. Being if your religion demands that you hate other human beings,
Here we
then
go.
you're in the wrong religion, honey. You're in the wrong religion.
Well, if your God hates all the same things you do, chances are your God is imaginary.
Yeah, your God is you. Well, that's what they are. Their God is just a giant version of themselves, they can project all of their manias onto him and say, "Oh, it's not me. It's this giant cloud being that's telling me to hate you." So I'm very sorry. It's out of my hands, and I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of enabling them. And I feel like we've been enabling the conservatives since the founding of the country, and this is the problem.
Well, I mean, the Constitution was set up to allow the slaveholding, the enslaved.
Wait, hold on a second, Robyn. We'll be right back. We're talking to Robyn Kincaid, Unapologetic Liberal Talk. All right, we're back. We're back and better than ever.
Absolutely.
What are you looking at? Why you're looking to the side? What are you looking at?
Me?
I need to know what is in your line of vision.
I'm watching about 6 different screens and fidgeting at the same time.
Oh, right. How you feeling? Are you okay?
I'm tired. It's rough. It's
Really?
rough. Yeah, but I'll just keep fidgeting.
All right, you're okay.
God bless donut cushions.
Before we keep going, I want to say thank you, Errol, for your super chat. What would be the best Christmas gift for Republic clowns and their supporters? Errol asks. I don't know. How about a one-way ticket to Liberland? That'll be good. Go to Liberland. That's the libertarian country that they created. I wonder what's happening with Liberland. Is it a shithole yet? I mean...
Did it get hit by a tornado yesterday?
Right. I mean, go and hey, there you go. That's your prime example. There's a tornado. Oh well, you should have done whatever it might be. Should have, woulda, coulda. Okay, bootstraps.
Well, thank God there are other states that pay more in taxes than they take, so that the Confederacy can take more in than they pay out. What?
And they're not vindictive like right wingers. So nope, you will not hear a single representative in the blue states
or senator.
Right. Nothing. They will not stand in the way of any help going to the
they will eagerly say, let's cut the check, let's help. Let's help people.
There'll be no debate. There'll be no I'm worried about the dead and the death, like you really give a shit. My God. And that's the thing, this is what has to happen to fix this country. What has to happen is there has to be unapologetic truth-telling about what we're up against.
Exactly.
And not trying to. I mean, those days are over. You can't talk them into it, like Joe Biden's trying to do constantly. So
begging them. Yeah.
Right. We're on a list of backsliding democracies now.
He keeps extending his arm. He keeps extending his hand across the aisle with the laurel wreath and and he keeps drawing back a bloody stump.
Yep. And then what?
I'm not gooning on him, but I wish he would finally figure out that they're not going to work with him.
Right.
The way for him to accomplish what he says he wants to accomplish with his presidency is to get rid of the goddamn filibuster, make sure everybody can vote,
Right.
and then punch him in the mouth and ask him how they like it.
Right. That's it. Because, I mean, come on.
Figuratively, of course.
Right. Legally and peacefully. Punch him in the mouth.
Yes.
Legally and peacefully. But it's, this is the options. Either we address the elephant in the living room, which is the Republican Party, or we don't, or we pretend, we move on with this fake ass democracy and we go through the motions, because that's what's going to happen. We will vote. We'll still have election day.
Well, if we can.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's true, but they will allow us to vote, just like in Iran and Iraq. They go through the motion. In Russia, they go through the motions. They have elections, just like, what's his name? Putin.
Remember Purple Fingers?
Yes, right. And Putin, he gave himself power to 2033 through an election. So yeah, apparently the people of Russia are all like, yeah, we want you as a king for the next, foreseeable future, and there you go. This is what we're up against. They will allow us to go through the motions, and they'll count the votes. That's it.
He just needs to be maximum dictator of Russia, so that long enough for him to steal everything that's not nailed down, and then get the stuff that is nailed down.
Right. And
he's a thief.
Right.
He's a burglar. He's a criminal. He's a crook.
And this is what they're doing. That's what they're bringing here. That's the kind of oligarchy we're going to have.
But I saw a shocking graph the other day that showed the relative approval for Vladimir Putin among Americans.
I know.
And Democrats, it was like straight line, and then kind of tapered off. The Republicans, it was like 2016, and it went off like a rocket.
Yeah. No, they love him, and we've seen segments on Fox News where they're like, "Oh, our president is weak, and look at him. I want to blow him. I'm weak. He's such a man." I mean, what is this fetishizing? This horrible people are turned into heroes to these scums.
Well, this is a process that began back when Roone Arledge at ABC, who had created Wide World of Sports, and he's hailed as this visionary genius of broadcasting, was put in charge of the news division of ABC. And that was when the entertainmentization news began. And so now it's the deadly serious business of American civics, American politics, American engagement is now just another damn reality show.
Yep, that's it.
I mean, I remember when Jon Stewart went on Crossfire and upbraided Tucker Carlson and not James Carville, but the other guy.
Yeah, I know.
Absolute hell, and said, "You're hurting America."
Yeah.
And CNN canceled Crossfire shortly thereafter.
Right.
But the rest of the broadcast world looked at it and said, "Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
There's $1 in this."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of, just to loop back for a second, it's kind of like what went on with Josh Duggar. Josh Duggar was able to download, receive, and possess child pornography because there is a market for it.
Yes, right.
And
I know.
because there's a market for it, somebody wants to make money off of it.
I know.
And because somebody wants to make money off of it, Josh Duggar gets to buy it. And this is all capitalism.
Right.
This is market-based economics.
That's right. There's no, there wouldn't be a market for it, right?
Yeah, whether it's kiddie porn or the destruction of civil society and civil governance, it all happens because there's a market for it and there's a dollar in it.
Right. And we have to, this is what we talk about on the show, is that reclaiming or redefining patriotism, taking it from these right-wingers, taking it back from them, to define, what's an American value? Is greed? Is that our only value? Is that the only thing that matters? Greed. And we have to get to the point, I think, that that even, that people are a bit embarrassed by that.
Yeah,
But
it's not great. Greed is not great, but it's what we got.
yeah. And we also have to educate the American people about the history of this country and democracy itself. Like, what are we doing here? What happened? What is the Enlightenment? What is that? Like, what are these? Is that a right-wing tome? No.
Well, the Enlightenment was when at least according to Clanny Oakley, the Enlightenment was when right-wing extremists figured out.
Yes.
Jesus, I can't even finish it.
Isn't that crazy? Right? The great
disgusting.
right-wing extremists. They would have been considered right-wing extremists. Really? Right-wing extremists. The ignorance is so... It's so baffling to me. Because how stupid are you, Lauren Boebert, and Republicans to vote?
And
to
how
vote for them.
How stupid is your constituency?
Right. Well, that's on the show Succession. There's a storyline where one of the sons is a dumbass, and he's a conspiracy theorist, and he's into all these very oddball conspiracies, and he wants to run for president, and they're trying to, like, hey, yeah, why not? They're going to make him president, but he's nothing but, he's just inept and dangerous, really. So, but that's what's happening. That's what we have.
Is he modeled on W. Bush or Trump?
I think he's probably modeled on a combination of Republicans, because he's not really a Trump, because he's rich, I guess, because Trump is not. He's just a con man, and but he's just a conspiracy kook, and then there's scenes where they go to a Republican Heritage Foundation or whatever, and other Republicans are coming over to him and saying, "Oh, keep up the good work. You're fighting the good fight." Meanwhile, behind the scenes, he's an absolute dumbass. So, but he doesn't know it because he's rich. He thinks, he's very smart. So, but it's the truth. This is what we're dealing with. We have Lachlan Murdoch. We have Donald Trump effing Jr. You want him to be your lord? God damn it, right? So,
well, at least what's his name? Michael Cohen says he expects more indictments coming for Traitor Tot Don Jr. as well as
good.
Precious Princess Daddy Trump.
Ooh, that's gonna be fun. I just sounded very sinister there. That's gonna be fun. Hold on a second. We'll be right back. Talking with Robyn Kincaid, the great Robyn Kincaid. All right, we're back. Whew. Sometimes I have to breathe. All right. All right. So.
Some just kind of have to get away from some of this stuff.
Well, a lot of people are doing that, and this is why they're going to win. You see? Republicans understand. See, part of their tactics is to disengage people, to make people so disgusted that...
Soft voter suppression.
And, yeah, that's what they're doing. So, there's soft voter suppression, there's hard voter suppression. And I'll be quite honest. When the West Virginia primary comes up in May, and when the general election comes along in November, I don't know if my vote's going to count. Right.
I'm not getting all the Trumpy on this. It's just that having transitioned and everything, I don't know if they will recognize my voter registration when I show up at the poll.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's true. Any reason to knock anybody off the rolls, they're going to do it. So
yeah, especially if you've got a D after your name.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, because I live in New York, I don't feel like I have encountered those problems with whatever, because it's basically, except when the Dems had their primary, and then all of a sudden all the dirty tricks flew out of the bats out of the belfry. So, but Yeah, I don't know.
I noticed Letitia James says she's not going to run for governor now in New York.
Yeah.
Probably. Are you okay with the governor who took over after Governor
Cuomo?
Hansey? Yeah.
She's all right. I don't really. I mean, what can you do? I haven't really paid attention because she's not really doing anything that's like seems to be off the rails or whatever. So, yeah. I mean, I never liked Andrew Cuomo. He's a friggin' Republican. And also a bully, and part of the problem. One of these old hangers on, I guess, that have just been entrenched and embedded in our body politic. And his father was a good Democrat, apparently, and yeah, but Andrew is more of a self-serving social climber. That's what it
he's
seems.
A political bully.
That's what he is, and he's also somebody he's not very democratic. Period. Large D Democratic, because he would block the Democrats, so the Democrats would try to pass legislation in the state senate, and he would ally with the Republicans. That's what he would do. I mean, he's just a piece of shit. Yeah. I mean, fuck him. Pardon my language.
The most decent thing he did, or the most intelligent thing he did, was signing off on the fracking moratorium, so that the nightmare of Fraxylvania couldn't creep north into New York State.
But that was a long time coming.
Years and years ago.
Yeah. And nonstop activism, because he was not on the side of decency and Mother Earth. He was on the side of greed, as usual. Yeah. And yeah, so, but anyway, as far as the problems with the country, in my opinion, is that it's entirely too much conservatism. And it's time to call it out. If the Republicans, for years, they turned the word liberal into a dirty word. How? Why? So let's give them a taste of their own medicine. Give credit where credit's due. I'm not trying to,
Tara, I've been trying to do that for so long.
Right.
You remember the Deepwater Horizon disaster?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the tar balls washing up on the beautiful white sand Gulf beaches, Florida and Alabama and Mississippi.
Yeah. And the animals.
And I remember all the way back then making the argument, and it's exactly what you're talking about. I would say at the time, that's not just oil and tar balls washing up on those beaches. That's conservatism washing up on those beaches.
Yeah. Yep.
When a 200-mile long swath of hell and destruction gets carved through Tennessee and Kentucky by a tornado, that's not just a tornado.
That's right.
That is a tornado of conservatism, because we are now living on a planet where, thanks to conservative principles that say that oil companies are more important than the ability of this planet to sustain human life, well, because of conservatism, 200-mile long tornadoes may very well become the norm.
Yeah, seems to be.
It may very well become a norm that we run through all the names in the alphabet. Then we run through the entire Greek alphabet. Right. We have to start on I don't know, Beatles songs to name hurricanes, because we have created a world, thanks to conservatism and capitalism, that has made us more prone to hurricanes.
Yes. And meanwhile, as we live in the consequences of that truth, the Democrats are busy praising the Republicans and assuring the American people that, oh, yes, see, we can work together, and they never, ever.
And the Republicans need to feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go on and on and on. Practically every week, it seems, there is another trans woman murdered. When the coroner goes to dig the bullet out of her body, it's not just the bullet that comes out; it's conservatism too.
Yes, that's right.
because I've got I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep turning the topic back.
No, fine.
But I've got a case of the creeping horrors, because this is December and there are a lot of Southern legislatures that will be gavelled into session in January, and the first thing on their agenda is going to be to shit on trans children.
Yeah, because that's what they do. I mean, it's the they're
we're
not
They're a party life. They're a party life. It's only a life if it's still a fetus. After that, we don't give much of a damn.
Right.
And them little trans children don't need to be. They don't need to be happy. They don't need to be healthy.
Right.
What they need to do is go ahead and commit suicide, like so many of them are already thinking about.
That's right.
America could be so much greater with no trans people in it. Just be a bigger, God-fearing country.
Right. We need one religion. God made one. He made two genders, one male and female. He made them both. Didn't you see Marjorie Taylor Greene's sign? Damn you. I mean, there's no way that we can have a functioning democracy with these idiots running around. There's no way.
No.
There's absolutely no way. So
they're dangerous.
What do we do? Yeah, they're dangerous. They're fascists.
Thirsty.
Right. And
hey, wait. Did you hear? Oh, my God. Joe Biden set fire to the Fox News Christmas tree.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Brandon. Oh, my. Well, I heard that, I think, what was that? I saw a meme or something. They said something about, I can't remember. I'm going to blow that joke. I couldn't. Something about, evil and trees blowing up. So.
It turns out the more... if you tell too many lies, Santa will set fire to your Christmas tree.
Right, something. That was it. That was it. Yep. It's true. But yeah, that's why the Democrats are dumb as shit, and they're effing it up.
Well, Fox News TV Radio Rwanda has dedicated. I think they have actually spent more time talking about their goddamn Christmas tree than they have about the attempt to overturn constitutional governance in the United States.
Exactly.
Is that
right? I'm just reading some of the comments in the chat room.
Ooh.
Gary says, "You just take that baby and give it up for adoption at the firehouse, and get back to milking that cow." Because isn't that what Lauren Boebert said? We're busy. I gave birth in the front seat of my truck, and then I went and I fucking went to Starbucks, and because I'm American.
She sounded like a scene from Pearl Buck's The Good Earth. Just standing there hoeing in the fields, and there's a baby on the ground.
Right. That's from. He was like, "Can you get that, love?" He would have the Monty Python. She's having right.
The world.
Every sperm is sacred. Isn't that one of the songs?
Every sperm is great. Yes. If that's true, I'm in big trouble.
Oh well, me too. Don't worry about it. We're in good company. But let's get. You know what? I really enjoyed some Schadenfreude watching Josh Duggar go to jail. Anyway, hold on. Listen, guys, time got away from me there. The show's not over. Just the Progressive Voices part of the show. Come to youtube.com/c4channel/Tarabuster to listen to the rest of the show. Become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin, and we will win. Thank you, Robyn Kincaid, for hanging out. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. Don't ever be afraid to say it. We stick together, we win. My name is Tara Devlin, and I'll see you soon. All right, we're back. We are.
I've got all my, like I said, I've got a million screens here.
What are you looking at?
Well, I really want to go and say hi. I guess in the chat room at what, YouTube?
Yeah, youtube.com/C for channel /Tarabuster. Or I can maybe just text it to you. Right?
Well, I mean, I've got an iPad here, so I'm trying to open it in the app.
Uh-oh, who's meowing? Junior. Do you hear him? Tara
Ray,
Junior.
Ray is such a handsome boy.
Yeah, I know Ray is very, very good. You know how smart Ray is? I'm gonna put this on my the channel. I keep threatening to do it. I just haven't gotten around to it. But I have a video of Ray opening a twist top. Okay? Think about that. A cat opening a twist top to get to his food.
Oh my God, does he have thumbs or something?
No, but he's very smart. And I was really blown away when I saw that. And I thought, this can't be real. Did I close this? And I thought it was me, that I had left it open. But it was always open. It was him. He's opening it. He is opening the twist top to get to the food. And the other two cats are sitting there in shock. Like, what? This is like a whole new world. We can get food whenever we want. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
anyway, I'm going to put that on this channel, and I'm sure that that will probably be the most successful video ever on the Tarabuster channel. So.
Very, very likely. I had a dear friend no longer with us who was my best friend, and he was a big cat person, and he used to say, you know, the day they all get thumbs, we're screwed.
Right. Yep. Look at them. Look at him. Hello. He's so good. But anyway, so thank you, Mark, for your super chat. And Mark says, thanks for the truth, Robyn and Tara. Thank you. And thanks for hanging out.
Thanks,
don't
Mark.
you feel better? I feel a little better just being in the room with you guys and hanging out and just being together in the in these difficult times. Damn it, difficult times.
They are difficult.
They are. But they're making it worse. So, but what do you want to talk about? Because I have a couple other, we
never did quite get around to the trans athlete.
Yes, let's talk about that. You're right. We didn't really address that. And I wanted to, because I felt like I left a few things on the floor or something last week's show, because I wasn't really quite prepared to discuss what was brought up, and I didn't have the stats. Do you know what I'm saying? But I do know that trans women, I mean, now the Republicans are just they use any way to divide and conquer us, and because there's such misinformation, Republicans never and conservatives, let's just say conservatives, they never shine light on a situation. They will never encourage their asshole constituents or followers to, evolve or not be a bunch of assholes. Conversely, they encourage. Look at this cat. He wants me to pet him. That's what it is. My hand, if it does anything but this, it gets bit. But what was I saying? Fucking Tara Jr., you fucked me up. Go ahead, Robyn. Sorry, take it away. Because I just had a brain fart.
No, you're absolutely right. But again, there's no market for in dealing with nuance, because nuance is not good for maggots. Maggots don't handle nuance.
Right.
But just to give you an example, of course, Arkansas and Alabama and my home state of West Virginia, and particularly my home state of West Virginia, passed a bill, and Governor, Make West Virginia Great Big Old Governor Jim Justice signed into law a ban on, and this is just how stupid our law was, a ban on trans girls, not trans boys, only trans girls.
Why?
Competing in high school.
Oh, wow.
High school sports.
Holy shit.
And it's always, and I mean, at least they were something resembling honest about it, because it's never about the trans girls.
No.
Because, the way it works is trans women are always going, in the maggot mind and in the TERF mind and in the conservative mind, trans women are always going to remain guys. And trans men are always going to remain girls.
Right.
So they don't care if the trans guys go over and play football or whatever, because the other boys will just stomp their asses and they'll learn their places. And but the state of West Virginia passed a law, the legislature there, that said no trans girls can compete in high school sports. Now, lawsuit was filed immediately, and it will be won, because by singling out trans girls, they created a statute that was on its face discriminatory.
Right. Well,
That's
the
got to
Supreme
go.
Court will cover that up for them. Don't worry.
I wouldn't. I actually wouldn't count on that, because it may not get to the Supreme Court,
Right.
but the federal courts already have a couple of other trans sports cases in the hopper. One coming from Idaho. I think Arkansas is on the way. But what we have to understand is that, up until puberty kicks in, boys and girls are pretty much physically identical in terms of strength. So if you're talking about fifth graders playing soccer,
Right.
there's no real reason to discriminate or create a boys versus girls league.
Right.
And frankly, in a lot of soccer at that age group, they don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or there are girls who are playing midget league football. The controversy begins with puberty, because when a cis male gets hit with
Wait, hold on. I think Robyn froze. What? Robyn, you froze. Oh no. Oh no. Robyn! You froze. I might have to call her back. You froze. You froze, and now you're frozen. When your heart's not open, Junior. You're frozen. And I'm frozen. Am I frozen? No, Robyn is frozen. Let me try again. Oh, all right, Junior. I should not have. I should have just let him sleep, because he's relentless now. All right. What is the matter with you, kid? What is the matter? Oh my God. All right, let's do it. Let me la la dee doo 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 doo. Trying again. Here we go. All right, relax, buddy. Do you see this? Quiet, quiet. Let's see, guys. How's everybody doing in the chat room? Robyn. I wonder. That's fucked up. Cool. All right, I gotta put the cat down. Sit down. Sit down, my love. Oh, God help me. All right, Robyn, if you can, call the call-in line. Call the call-in line. Call in the call-in. Because we wanted to finish the story what we were talking about. Robyn was in the middle of something very important that we've been teasing, and now, shit. Call in. Fuck me. I mean, legally and peacefully. Hold on, everybody. How's yous doing in these chats rooms? Mark, thank you for your super chat, and thank you, Pookie's Mama Irene. Tara Jr. in the house. See, honey. Oh, he's such a bastard. What the hell is wrong with you? I was just gonna show you the abuse. Look at this. Watch. Oh, now he's sitting on the keyboard. This show's really tanking fast. I know. I'm trying to get. Holy Christ, Tara Jr. Do you see what my life is like? It's too many things. Too many people pulling at me. Cats pulling at me. Abusing me. I don't like it. I know. I'm trying to find the number, damn it. Here we go. Okay. Finally. You're frozen, Pookie's Mama Irene, when your heart's not open. Remember when I said that. Jesus Christ. I know, he's biting. Well, he's not biting me for real. He's not really biting. But look, he wants my hand. Because he wants it to pet him. So my hand is nothing but an object. Watch. You see what he's trying to do? He's trying to use my hand. Come here. Do you want to pet? See, look. And then he takes it and pulls it over his head. He's a weirdo. You know, he knows what he likes, and he wants it. He wants it all the time. All right. La da 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 da. Is it working? Why aren't you calling? La da da da. All right. Well, let's see. You know what I could do to make time? Time, the rapacious creditor. What are we gonna do with you, time? I'm running out of time. I wanted to, let's see. Oh, you know what made me want to puke? Here. Let's play this. Fox News laughing at people being laid off. This will be one for the ages.
For himself, Emily.
Go to CNN.
I loved this, actually. I loved this so much. The productivity of those 900 individuals averaged 2
They're talking about 900 people being laid off right before Christmas.
a day, even
Hold
though they
on
were
a second,
paid
Robyn.
for 8. And I understand the indelicate nature of this, but part of my role as a federal attorney when I was managing and acting director was terminating individuals, and I did it with the utmost respect and care. But I also had to do it with a lot of security measures in place. I love that for 900 people, he stayed safe, and he let them know that their theft was no longer tolerated.
Theft?
So for me,
Their
good riddance, and
labor.
I feel bad that he's now having to capitulate to the other execs at his company and apologize for it. Sorry, guys, bye. For all of them, they're snowflakes. They're probably millennials and Zs. Yep.
Very surprising.
They need to learn work ethic. That's
Emily's
all.
Oh
tough.
my
Emily,
God,
stop. We're
I hate them. Do you realize that they are the antithesis of democracy? They hate it. All right, Robyn's back, and I was just playing that video because
I am.
I was looking for looking for you, and I needed to keep the Tarabuster.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. One.
Yes, you all of a sudden went frozen. You went frozen like Madonna's early '90s album. I don't know, whatever. Is that the '90s? Who knows? So what were you saying? As far we were talking about trans athletes and exclusion.
Yeah, but the bottom line is, what happens is when testosterone goes away, basically the playing field becomes level again.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, and we were talking about this earlier. Just as an example, a cis woman the same age as me, in my post-op status, has more testosterone than I do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's it.
And there are cis female athletes who, by virtue of their training and the exercise that they do, the training, will have more testosterone in their system than a trans girl will participating in high school sports.
All right. And isn't there more
But
important things?
more than any,
Though, like as far as team sports in high school, right? There's more important lessons to be learned in this sporting experience, like not being a dick, teamwork. We're in this together. Good sportsmanship. Aren't these the lessons that you would think?
Right, and as is always the case, it seems, this is a solution in search of a problem. This is just another means by which the right wing has identified a method by which they can extract money from their mouth breathing, knuckle walking,
Yeah.
Faithful followers.
And they see.
And apparently, transbacks will riding transbacks will yield up horse gagging loads of money.
They're just shameless, horrible, and this has been a record year in anti-trans legislation all around the country, which should just show us what the Republicans are up to. They're undermining, well, not just undermining, they're destroying the elections. They're rigging it so that they count the votes on one hand, and on the other hand, they're throwing other human beings at their mouth-breathing, hate-mongering base to tear up and do with what they will, to distract. And that's how evil they are. That's absolutely evil. Just like back in the day when I remember, during George W. Bush and Cheney, there was all this anti-gay. That's when George Bush came out and said that they were going to pass a constitutional amendment against gays, right? Because that's what you do when you're a fascist. You legislate against a targeted minority group. And I remember at the time the Republicans talking about, oh, well, Cheney's daughter is gay and they don't really mean it. But the damage is done. And you've already killed people, you've hurt people, you've spread hate and PTSD from sea to shining sea. You've inflicted your sickness into the families of Americans and maybe turn them against each other. This is what the Republicans do. And here's a story that broke my heart. A 7-year-old trans girl, 7. And these fuckers, these bullies, they are, and they're the abomination. They really are. So this was in 2019, and a mother discussing she was a conservative Christian, and her daughter, around age 3, started to ask to wear dresses. Well, she's born a boy. Since the age of 5, she insisted she was a girl. Not a boy, I'm a girl, she said. Now the little girl is 7. And in the court, they're saying that she is a girl. You have to have, medical professionals coming in. Then, the woman had to battle the schools. Can my daughter go to the fucking bathroom, you pricks? And then she told the story, well, just told in general, that how all her good Christian friends abandoned her. And I never forget what she said. She said, I am fighting for my child's life, and they left me on the battlefield. And I'm like, that's the case. That's the Republican Party. They will leave you behind every fucking time. They will leave you. They will leave everybody. As long as they got theirs, it's all about them. So how do you create a world like this, where 7-year-olds want to kill themselves? That's it. Thank you, conservatives. So, I'm sorry, Robyn, for filibustering or tarabustering, but
No. You're fine. I had a story on my show this past week of a 12-year-old little boy who identified as gay, and his classmates, having been carefully taught by their good Christian parents, bullied him until he committed suicide.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, that's your party of life.
Now, I don't want. Yeah, I don't want that world to persist.
Right.
I want a world that's safe for every kid.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, how hard is that?
Not just the white cis het one.
Right. Not just the ones born on third base.
But those right. Children, those children who bullied that child, and there was one photograph of him, and he had his nails painted red. And there was another photograph of him, and he looked like a little 12-year-old kid trying lipstick for the first time.
It's heartbreaking.
Jesus Christ, it broke my heart.
This poor
because
kid.
we're trying to move to a better world.
Right.
And
that,
you know what?
right.
These maggots, when they have their hissies over abortion, they always say, we've had a holocaust of abortions in America since Roe versus Wade, and maybe one of their babies would have cured cancer.
All right. Yes. Right.
Well, what about the little trans kids
Right.
who commit suicide?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Maybe one of them would have cured cancer.
Wow.
But because they're Republicans and they have Republican morals, they don't give a good goddamn about that kid. Better off dead.
Wow.
Less trans people in this country, the better.
That's who they are. They're just
And they got and they got people who are ostensibly liberal, like Dave Chappelle, out there working hammer and tongs right alongside them.
That's right.
Maybe why didn't he just come on out and say that men need to be in charge of women's reproductive systems?
Yes.
And just have done with the lie of it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Quit pretending.
Right. Well, that's the thing with their attacks on democracy. I've noticed over time how they seem to feel the need to give lip service to democracy less and less. So the Republicans used to always proclaim, their love of the constitutionally limited democratic republic that we're trying to be. And, they're just so obviously full of shit, of course, but they don't have to, they don't feel the need anymore they don't even have to pretend. They don't have a platform. They don't have an agenda. They have no legislative promises to keep. All they have is autocracy and more division, death, school shootings, premature death, needless death, more suicide, more death by despair, more disgusting environment, more death by pollution, more climate change, more tornadoes, more fucking 250 miles of destruction, of like we've never seen, and these idiots are gonna vote for them again. So I don't know. The thing is, we know that we don't have the corner market on morons. Our morons are just too emboldened. They need to be put in their place. That's where they belong. Republicans, conservatives, they're not a majority party. They don't, that's why. This is what they do. When they get in the majority, they destroy the democracy. You know what I mean? Which goes to show you how unfit they are. So, I'm doing the work here, right? We do it on. Of course, I'm considered or whatever. I'm a liberal, whatever, and clearly nobody's listening to me. I'm not, except for you guys, not nobody, but you know what I mean. We certainly have a lot of work to do. We don't have these large platforms like the right wingers. There's a reason, Tara. There's a reason that you don't have a million person audience, because the media conglomerates don't want people like you and me to have million-person audiences. Yep.
Now, on the other hand, if you were strictly doing a podcast about cats.
Oh well, that's true.
And I love cats.
Yes.
But you'd probably be filthy rich.
It's true. Right.
Because we are, to coin the phrase, we are amusing ourselves to death.
To death, yes.
And and you talked about you earlier before the video froze and everything. You said, the media goes right along with the right-wing talking points. Well, there's a reason for that.
Yeah. No.
And the reason is because the people who own the media conglomerates are the same thing as the right wing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's them.
There are so many examples. I hate the capitalist political funding system, because people who work for a living and struggle day to day scrape up $3, $5 and send it out to progressive candidates, and then the progressive candidates have to take the money that they've scraped together and they give it to media conglomerates who hate their guts.
Yeah.
For the privilege of running a damned ad.
Right.
And then the editorial department will sit there and work hammer and tongs against the people who are buying the ads with $3 donations at a time.
Right. Yep. And
freaking evil.
Yeah. The whole thing is so broken that that's how I get overwhelmed. I think we're never going to make it because,
Yeah.
but the way we will make it. See, one of the mottos or slogans of the show is "We stick together, we win," and I say we will win. I totally believe that. Whether I'm going to be in my lifetime or not is we're still working that out because we are on the right side of history. We're on the right side of democracy. Liberals are on the right side of history. It's about time for the Democrats to embrace it. You know what I mean? Embrace the success. Stop quoting Reagan. Stop fucking throwing out an olive branch to these
God.
pricks who wanna. All they want to do is pull back a bloody stump and sell some merch that says "Let's go Brandon."
Not
fuckers.
Yeah, not to goon on Obama or anything, but I remember early in his first term, he was going on summer vacation, Martha's Vineyard, Hawaii. I don't remember. But they said, "Mr. President, what's on your beach reading?" And he said, "Well, I'm taking with me a biography of Ronald Reagan."
I know. I remember this.
And Tara, I face-palmed so hard.
No, he always did that. He would always quote Reagan. And I used to go insane because that's the thing about Obama. He's not a liberal. He never was. And he was more like he's a Republican. He was a moderate Republican. And that's why we have for-profit insurance racket, entrenched. He's not he was using the Republican playbook, just giving back their policies to them. And enough. Republicans are the problem, not the solution. And Democrats better friggin' just own that.
Realistically, historically, Tara, have Republicans ever solved a problem?
No. And
I'm not being sarcastic.
No, I know. No.
Never.
That's why we talk about it on the show. Nancy Pelosi. I'm sure I could pull up the clip of her. The American people need a Republican Party. All I have to say is please take back your party. The American people need a Republican Party that's done so much good for this country. This is what she said. More than once,
yeah,
of course.
Right. The American people need a Republican Party like the American people need a really bad seeping dose of the clap.
Right. We need the Republican Party like we need another 800,000 dead. That's what we need, Nancy. And I swear to God, I've called Nancy Pelosi's office. I've tweeted at her. I have said to her staff, stop fucking pining for this mythical Republican Party that doesn't exist, and let's deal with the problem. We have a fascist problem, and that's not. Take back your party. The American people need a strong Republican Party that's done so much good for this country. What? And I've also asked Nancy Pelosi, what the fuck is she talking about? Of course, we never hear a response, right? Like, what great things? Give us an example. They've done so many great things. I've heard you say, give me one. I can't find any. And here we go. Here's the problem with this country. The people say shit.
Was it when Ronald Reagan, among his first acts in office, taxed serving staff's tips?
Right.
Was it when he took the solar panels off the White House?
Right. We've done so much good.
Was it when he declared ketchup as a vegetable?
So much good. How about when he never he never said the word AIDS, even though we were in the middle of the AIDS crisis? Oh, here's Nancy.
Be prayerful that somebody will intervene today and say, you just tipped the scale too far. One of my prayers is that the Republicans will take back their party. The country needs a strong Republican Party that's done so much for our country. And to have it be hijacked as a cult at this time is really a sad thing for America.
You know what's sad, Nancy? This friggin' revisionist history of yours. You know what's sad? Trying to rehab this party That is a cult. It's always been a cult. It's a cult of greed and selfishness. That's what it is. So what are you talking about? Done so much good for the country? How, you know what would be good for the country if they remain a permanent minority, and the Democrats, you know, fucking save democracy. Okay, that's not too much to ask, is it? I'm sorry, I'm yelling and flailing my arms. I don't know. I haven't been on the air since last week, and I need a lot of things have to be worked out here. I'm a little bit pissed off. And yeah, haiku in the chat. Thoughts and prayers. Exactly. Thoughts and prayers for your nervous breakdown. Before we wrap up, because I'm looking at the time. Let me see. How much time do we have? We only have 5 minutes, Robyn. Just letting you know. But, Robyn, are you there? Robyn!
I'm right here.
Oh, God. I thought you freaking... thought we lost you again. All right. I want to thank you all. We had a really great chat room tonight, and incredibly active, of course, and I see a lot of new people in there. So thanks for hanging out. Please hit the like and subscribe.
Thanks for letting me come and play.
Yeah, I hope you, please, I want you to keep coming back. It works if you work it, so work it, you're worth it, as we say in the rooms. And, yeah, no, I mean, I still feel like, as far as trans athletes, I don't know if we've really said anything that made a difference.
Well,
but
we did and we didn't, but it probably just deserves a little bit more time.
Yeah.
In fact, I've got a dear friend down here who could do a far better job with the issue than
maybe
than,
we can
than
do
I
that.
can.
Would you like to?
I would.
Maybe we can get her on the air.
I'd love to put you in touch with her. She is articulate and passionate and brilliant and full of piss and vinegar.
Oh, well, she sounds like my type of gal. Let's do it. Guys, I want to thank you. Oh, of course, Matt, right under the gate here. Thank you, Matt, for your super chat. Very nice to see you. And let me just say hello to you guys in the chat room. Thank you, Gary and Andrea, for hanging out. Errol and Paradu and Mark, of course. And who else is here? Let me see. We got Terry and Lee in New York City. And, of course, Haiku. Thank you, Haiku, for doing double duty as the moderator. I don't know what I'd do without you. Thank you, Play Dave. Thank you, B. Pre. And Paradu, of course. Who else is here? Winston. Nice to see you, Winston. And Pookie's mama, Irene. And who else? Mark. Yes. Haiku. Play Dave. I don't want to miss anybody. Winston. River. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, B. Pre. Nice to see you, Mark. And Mark says, thank you, Robyn Kincaid. All right, Robyn?
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Yes.
And I recognize some of those other names, too. Hi, y'all.
Yep. Lee in New York City, right? River. Shadowstar Ace.
And B. Pre.
Yep. Thank you, Shadowstar Ace. Shadowstar Ace says, thank you, Robyn. And, yeah, so if you can. Oh, the other thing. We forgot to talk about the gathering in the summer. Robyn is having a gathering. We'll do this again. Well, I mean, obviously.
We call it the Horn Inn, and it's going to be June the 2nd through the 4th in America's newest national park, the New River Gorge National Park, and we're going to have a blast.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
And I'm gonna cook and cook and cook and cook. And we're going to eat and carry on and have fun. And if you want to find out more about it, go read the post over at I'm sorry about the Bob part, but GoFundBob.com.
Okay. Yeah, you set this up before you went through your surgery and came out, really. So.
Yeah, it was pre-transition. At least pre-coming out.
Right. So go to GoFundBob.com and check it out. You'll see the instructions there. So we're trying to, we have to prepay something. So if you can sign up now and reserve your spot, and we can hang out in the flesh. Come on, man. Let's do it. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you for hanging out.
You're going to be there.
Yeah, I'm going to be there. Okay? You want to go? You want to hang out? Let's do it. Thank you, Robyn, for hanging out. And thank you, all of you. Guys, we stick together, we win. You know it. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. And that's not too much to ask, is it? Right? We will win. They know it. That's why they have to lie and rig the game. But we're on the right side of humanity, decency, dignity, democracy. We stick together. We win. My name is Tara Devlin. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for Robyn Kincaid for hanging out. See you soon. I fucked that up. What is wrong with me? Why did that happen? Okay, everyone, listen up. I want to thank you. I want to thank you again. And something is... That did that last week, too. It's like it stops, and then it kicks back in. I got to fix that. Put it on the list. And thank you, Linda. I see you, Linda. Linda says, good night, everyone. And thank you, Peter. Anybody else? Did I miss you guys? All right, listen up. Hey, Robyn, thank you for hanging out. I'm going to go because I have to...
thank you.
Yes, I have to get the show prepped for Progressive Voices now. So it takes some time, and I'm tired and cranky. So I usually just cut it short on Saturdays, and let's do it. All right, thank you, Paradu.
Understood.
Guys, thank you, Robyn. And
Get some rest.
Yep, you too, my friend, and I will talk to you later. See you later.
Take
All right.
care. Love you.
Love you too, hon. All right, guys. I'm going to sign off right now, if that's okay. Let me see. And yes, I will post the video of Ray opening his food. I will. I'll get to it eventually, because that might be the video that funds the whole goddamn show. Right? Wouldn't that be great? That'd be great. All right. Breathe. I gotta breathe. I gotta remember to breathe. I usually don't remember. All right, listen up, my friends. Thank you for hanging out. We will do a show this week. I'm not sure when. And I want to thank the patrons, of course, and all the super chatters. Guys, this is how you keep it going. Because, I ain't rich. Because we're liberals. We don't have big billionaire benefactors. We only have each other. So it does matter. It makes a difference. And we will win. Like I said. My name is Tara Devlin. Thanks again to Robyn Kincaid. And I'll